What's poppin', y'all? You're now chilling with Sporting Convos with Eddie and Mike. It's me, Mike, and I'm here with my guy.
Commander Eddie P at your service, left hand up.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I am not feeling the best right now. And then my guy got this stupid hat on.
It is absolutely not stupid. Mike, we are taking command starting right now with the Giants.
All right.
We're going to talk about that, but Mike's going to school y'all on what's going on.
Yeah, today, like I said, I'm not feeling the best, so we might be trying quick, but we always try to be quick.
Short and sweet.
But yeah, we'll recap last week's game versus the Bucks. Tough L in Tampa. Kind of expected, at least I expected it. And then we'll preview. We'll talk about that game. Then we'll talk about Forbes, who had an interesting week, or last 6 to 8 or 5 days, honestly. Noah Brown, he'll be activated Sunday. We'll give some thoughts on that. They'll preview the game versus the Giants. I'm kind of looking forward to that. And a particular item is being given out on Sunday for the fans. Wait till y'all hear it. Some of you may already know, but it's crazy in my opinion. And then we'll recap week 1 and preview week 2 of the NFL. Talk about Thursday night's game. The Bills absolutely destroyed Miami. And yeah, Tua, not Hawk. Tungalova. We're going to need to talk about him. He did something really foolish, in my opinion, last night that may have cost him his career, all things considered. But what's happening, bro?
Not a whole lot. Just, not happy with week 1, but being a little older, a little wiser, understanding that there is better days ahead on the horizon, and this time I think it's actually real. It's not a mirage. It's not a sabotage. Beastie Boys fans, they know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, just kind of enjoying life. Nats are up right now. Hopefully they can get this last out, and that's a win. They need a bounce back from last night when they lost. But yeah, man, let's get into the whole Bucks game. There's a lot to talk about. But I think we can cover it all in a little amount of time. Sporting Convos, Eddie and Mike.
Yeah, let's just, honestly, bro, let's just jump right into it and talk about last week's game.
Yeah.
We actually watched it together. That was cool. Went to my man's house, chilled with some of his folks. We had some pizza, chicken, whatever. 2 pieces, Paisanos and Domino's. Shout out to both of them. But
for bringing food. I said shout out to you for bringing food, coming through. Did not come intended.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Commanders didn't come through.
No, man, it was a bummer.
Game kind of started off weird. On their first defensive drive, they almost got a 3-and-out, but got called. Got a phantom, in my opinion, a phantom penalty called on them. And then other stuff just kept happening to make me realize that just last Sunday wasn't our day. And I just...
Whoa.
Oh, no. Somehow I just lost connection, y'all. That's on me. I don't know what happened. But nevertheless, like I was saying, it sucked because, of course, you want to win every game. But even with losing by 17, I have so much coming out the game that I'm optimistic about. And, we just got to give props to the Bucks. This is a team that was a game away from the conference championship last season and destroyed the Eagles at home in the playoffs last year. Shoot, Washington scored more points versus Tampa in week 1, double the points, matter of fact, than Philly scored in the playoff game. So, yeah, that's another thing to kind of be encouraged about. And, yeah, it's a lot more we could say about this game, but I've been talking a lot. I'm going to let you get your points in before we close this out and move on to the rest of the happenings of this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said most of it, but just to kind of maybe expand and then add in a few things. I think first of all, absolutely, Tampa came out and played. They had a great game plan. That's a pretty solid team that returns pretty much everybody from the team that Mike mentioned last year that went on that run. I think Baker Mayfield certainly has a chip on his shoulder. You look at what's going on in Cleveland and how crazy that situation is now. Not only the trade, but then getting rid of Baker. And anyway, back to Tampa. I think the other thing that really worked out in their favor was their strength offensively was our weakness, the passing game, not only getting to the quarterback, but then having, solid coverage in the secondary. Mike Evans, I see stuff about him being underrated and maybe because he's not as flashy, but I think most people respect him and know that like having 1,000 yards each season since he's been in the league is like nothing to bat an eye about. People notice that. At least, maybe I'm in my own world because of fantasy football. But yeah, their strengths were our weakness. They came out, executed that game plan. Again, a team that came out and played well from last year. And the thing that kind of bummed me out was I didn't like the way we were getting run on too. But Tampa came out. Their coach blitzed a lot. That's kind of what he does. Talking about Todd Bowles, a defensive coach known for blitzing a lot, known for, especially with young quarterbacks, trying to kind of mess with them at the line of scrimmage. And, I think all of that, I think it was a lot for Jaden Daniels, despite him being cool, calm, and collective and being, showing the ability to be great on the big stage. It was his first NFL game, and it was on the road. And that Tampa team is full of vets. You got guys like Levante David on the other side of the ball. Like, they know what they're doing. So, a bummer to see us get run on, and then also a bummer that we didn't pass the ball as much. I think the running thing gets a little overblown. Certainly, we don't want him running that much. But I did hear on 106.7 The Fan, shout out to them, that he actually I think there were 2 times during the drop back when he got hit. One of them was the sack. And then of the times he ran, that he really only got hit like 2 or 3 times. The other times he was rolling or sliding or getting out of bounds. So, just trying to find some silver lining. And, certainly I think we all wish just a little, just a small little less mustard on that pass to Terry. And that could have been pretty awesome. So that's all I got. Also refreshing, not that he couldn't do this, but they really are throwing to B-Rob a lot, huh? I was kind of surprised at that just a little bit. Only with Eckler there, I didn't think they would be throwing to him as much. I knew they'd throw to him. He can catch, not disrespecting his hands.
Yeah. The happenings with Terry McLaurin really were some of the bigger topics of conversation because he didn't catch many passes and wasn't targeted much, yada, yada, yada. But like you just said, those 2 catches that he was missed on, one, Daniel just threw it too much, and the other one, he didn't see it at all. He catch those passes, you're talking about 125 yards, 2 touchdowns on 6 catches, maybe, something like that. I think he'll be fine. I think him and Jaden Daniels will develop chemistry. He's developing with every other quarterback that he's played with since he's been here, including Josh Gilbert. But what's your thoughts? You said no motion, Terry. What does that mean to you?
So here's where I'm at, right? And I don't mean to continue to bring up, the whole Shanahan and all of these various guys that came from his tree that used to coach here and how well they're doing, especially considering they're all offensive minds. But if you look at all of these guys, whether it's McVay, what's my man's name? O'Connell in Minnesota, certainly Mike McDaniel, obviously Kyle Shanahan. What do they do with their guys? All of them. Or well, excuse me, at least like your top 2 receivers, and sometimes your tight end if they're like elite one. You move them around. Terry was lined up, I believe, I think it was either the right, whichever side, he was lined up there like 90% of the game. Now, sure, he should be, beating coverage, and, we should be trying to get him the ball. But don't you think moving him around and kind of keeping the defense a little bit off balance would be in your best interest? Because if, oh, hey, Terry's over there again, we know where he's going to be. Doesn't that, like, at least to me, just a little bit, it limits. I mean, obviously, the element of surprise kind of goes down greatly, but then maybe getting him in a more advantageous situation, whether like another DB switches off on him, he moves over and now two guys occupying one area, get confused, those kind of things. And not to say that we need to do those things because Terry can't get open himself, but again, you do those things to help your elite guys get open, get those volume catches, because when you get them going, it's best for the team. That's just what I was kind of getting at. It was something I noticed, something I kind of heard talked about, and maybe it'll change going forward with Kingsbury. This was week 1. Maybe the playbook will expand. We'll see.
Nah, that like I'm like LE on Commanders Declassified. He was like, if we treat this like a 4 preseason game, it'll be all right. And I said, you know what? That's a good point, bro. They definitely didn't play a lot in the preseason, so
Yeah, and
I'm
I
with
always
that.
wonder about that. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, I know you don't want your stars getting hurt, but maybe like play them just a little, a series or two more each one, get them more, just that, just even having the pads on, going through all those motions, getting bumped, getting kind of, even if like it's not a hard hit, after the play, you get rid of the ball, you get bumped, getting used to all those kind of things. I think it would really pay dividends to do, but I also completely understand, especially in terms of the investment and where we've been at in terms of not having a franchise quarterback. So I get all that. I do. I just wanted to throw that out there. So please continue, Mike. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Nah, you're good. And yeah, we're going to talk about quarterback all season and whatever, but I always been more interested on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm actually tracking the defensive performances for Commanders, that the classified weekly. I forgot to post the article, but yeah, it was a horrible start, and like you said earlier, it was their move. Get out of here. It was their strength was the perfect thing for our weakness, and Baker Mayfield cooked. Honestly, I feel like the defensive game plan wasn't that bad. It was just that the Bucks was just that much better. And yeah, I'm not panicking, but I am concerned that the Bucks is able to cook us that easily.
Yeah, totally. And that's kind of also what I was talking about when I had sent you, like, I guess, like a draft of the rundown when I said defensive minded coaches. Yeah, I'm not expecting guys to walk on water, but I mentioned about is it? I always thought it was Rashad, but is it Rashad? Whatever the first name White, Rashad White.
This Rashad.
That's
That's
what I thought.
RACHAAD, not Rashard, but Rashad.
Rashad. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I know. I'm just confirming for you.
Gotcha.
No
All
R in his
right.
name. Well, only one R. I'm sorry.
Just in general, what I saw, I just didn't. It didn't really seem like there was any, um, like sort of enthusiasm, any sort of like jolt of energy or reviving, so to speak. Now, hey, look, week 1, I'm not trying to like panic and whatever else, but again, we both watched that game. You saw what I saw. You just kind of felt like with Dan Quinn and why am I forgetting our coordinator's name right now?
Joe Witt Jr.
Witt, right. Witt Jr. You felt like with those guys coming over that we would get infused with like this sort of, like I said, revived, kind of come out excited, new day, so to speak. And it just didn't quite seem like it. Now, I thought guys were playing hard. I'm not questioning the effort, but I don't know, man. You just really felt like the defensive whisperer would have done some whispering. And, hey, maybe this next week, we kind of learn, we grow, and, we beat up on the Giants and maybe kind of get some confidence about us. That make some adjustments. It could happen. I'm like I said, I'm not throwing in the white towel. I'm not whatever, waving the flag, not panicking. But I didn't totally like what I saw. But again, week one. So let's reserve the right to totally flip out. But stay calm.
Bro, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I tried to make it. I tried to justify the pick. Tried to make it seem like it was the right pick.
I know where you're going.
Emmanuel Forrest was not the right pick. We all had it right. We should have drafted Christian Gonzalez, and we wouldn't be in the position that we were in, I feel like. But after a horrible game on Sunday, and I'm not going to lie, he probably was the worst player Sunday. Him and the kicker were probably the worst two players on Sunday, and news got so much worse for him after the game. He's out for the next 4 weeks at least with thumb surgery, and I'm just hoping like he actually can learn the position while he's out, because he'll still be able to move and stuff. It's just his thumb that'll be jacked up. So I'm hoping he studies the position like hard while he's out, because a lot of the things that he's struggling with isn't physical. It's knowledge. It's mental. He has horrible angles. He's not playing hard. Like, man is tripping. And I hope he think a lot over the next 4 weeks about how he wants to contribute to the Commanders franchise.
Yeah, same here with what you were saying about justifying the pick. I think the thing that we have to revisit, and I don't know, like on some sort of sports psychologist level, that maybe this could be done, but the kid played in the SEC. Now I understand where'd my man come from, Mississippi State, right? Or was it Texas A&M? Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Mississippi State's not the powerhouse that LSU or Alabama or Georgia or even Florida, I mean, not now, but like in the past anyway. He had records. He did something no one else had done. The most amount of pick sixes, like that's not nothing. Like I understand college level and the pro level are a different thing, but at the same time, like he's shown he can do the thing. So I think, like you said, it's mental, and the timing couldn't be worse, because this was where, like, hey, like I said, defensive minded coaches, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them for what's going on here, because they didn't pick him. So that needs to be thrown in there as well when we're talking about that. But the timing couldn't have been worse. Like all the expectations. And I think, obviously the way he is playing, it had a big factor into this, but, he had the surgery today, and hopefully, rehab, get right mentally, and, really, focus on some of those other aspects he can do to really own his craft and just be a good teammate, be a good cheerleader, be right there, kind of learning, on the sideline, watch what the coaches are saying, watch what's going on at your position. And, who knows, this could be a feel-good story. I don't want to give up, but, we don't need to worry about anything this year. He's done. So lots of luck to you, kid. Like I say that sincerely. I'm not trying to be some sort of cool guy or be funny. Like, I really hope not just for our team, but for him, like, dude's got an opportunity here, and it could really become something. But now, hey, Sandra still got to step up. How do I say my man's name? Igbanati?
Wiggy, I think. I forgot.
Wiggy.
Let's just call him Noah. Oh,
And
speaking
he's
of
the other
Noah,
Noah. So it's the two Noahs.
yeah, speaking of Noah, Noah Brown, he's been dealing with an injury since he's been released, but it looks like he's making the season debut on Sunday versus the Giants.
He's
I'm not
activated.
expecting much from him with it being his first game, and we also have other receivers we can spread the ball to. So maybe not an instant impact, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean that could be another good infusion here. Um, don't get me wrong, no disrespect to Forbes, but maybe Noah the DB, shall we say, he did great when he came in relief for Forbes, and so certainly you hope that can just sort of roll into next week. Again, Sandra still. Let's see some more out of him. See what's going on there. It's kind of in a roundabout way, it's the perfect storm because he's young, and so the more reps he can get, the more experience, and hopefully, that goes in the positive direction that you guys can sort of see what I'm saying. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully Noah Brown on the offense, hopefully that gives them another spark because they need it. I understand there's a lot of expectation on Jaden Daniels, but these guys got to also equally they got to do it for him, man. Like they need him, but he needs them. Like if they want him to make all the plays, like they got to make the play too.
Exactly, and that starts with Sunday versus the Giants, and of course we're paranoid, bro. It just seems like every time we play the Giants, the dumbest things happen. I'm never going to forget the first game I think I watched at your house, the Sunday night football game with the two penalties on Dotson and McLaurin that cost us the game or whatever. Like,
Yeah, just
it,
wild,
this
just
stupid stuff always happen. But
insane.
our problem with the Giants hasn't been defensive. They only score more than 23 points.
Not our defense.
Huh?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying the Giants versus the Commanders football team, Redskins. In the last 8 games, they haven't scored. They only scored over 20 points about 3 times, I think. Washington, like, I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping with the new coaching staff that we can't hold their pass against them and that they're able to take out an underwhelming team on Sunday at home. Like the Giants are ready to be taken out right now, and you let them come in your house on opening day and beat you, you're giving them hope for the season. Very rarely do you get a chance to end the season early or to put a team in jeopardy like this. But the time is now for Washington to do that. I expect Jaden Daniels to have a better game and the entire offense. I expect the defense to be more sound and make it ugly for Daniel Jones. But I can't predict a comfortable win because it's the Giants and it's Washington.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Certainly worried about lightning striking for like the 13th time or something crazy. And what I was saying while you were talking, which I am gonna work on that, Michelangelo, I promise you, is that their defense. That's been the problem. Kayvon Thibodeau is all galaxy over there. I believe it's Dexter Williams. I wanted to say Dexter Lawrence, but I don't think that's the one. I think it's Dexter Williams. Came out of USC, played for the Jets actually. Now plays for the Giants. Those guys are lighting it up. Carey, I think, linebacker, used to play for Indy, now plays for them. I mean, those guys, they're the Monstars when they play us. So we're going to certainly need Jaden Daniels to extend plays with his legs, but we're going to need the tight ends, Ertz, Sennett, Bates, all three. We're going to need those guys stepping up, and we're going to need Eckler and why can't I think of his name right now? Jeez.
B-Rob.
Yeah, B-Rob. Good Lord. we're going to need both of those guys to step up too in the passing game, because I don't know that we're going to be able to get it downfield. But and I don't know that we're going to attempt a lot. As I've said, I think our offense is going to be dink and dunk, get some runs out of Daniel, run the ball, play defense. I think that's what we're doing. Obviously, protect the ball. But yeah, I mean, hey, this is the time to turn it around. It's the home opener. The Giants are coming in here just a complete mess. They got guys like Theo Johnson and Leon Williams and people you never heard of playing on offense, other than Slayton. That is the only guy on that team, and Daniel Jones, but
What about neighbors?
that I've heard of. Oh, right. They did draft him, but I think he's a little banged up with the knee. But yeah, so they reverse the curse, maybe this is it. They come in there like dude, those uniforms are absolutely terrible. I hope a lot of people got fired over that. Like that's that for me. I know that sounds almost like some sort of Mean Girls, like 16-year-old high school comment, but if we lose to the Giants and they're wearing those hideous jersey and pant combo, I am gonna lose my flipping mind. Daniel Jones running around looking like that quarterback, like the.
I'm gonna just stop you. They're not wearing those jerseys.
Oh, they're wearing the regular stuff.
Yeah,
Well, I still hope we beat them. I hope we beat the brakes
we're
off.
wearing our burgundy jerseys. We're wearing our burgundy jerseys with the gold bands.
Yeah, they're trying to shut up the people who want the Redskins name back. They're like throwing them a little bone there. They're like, hey, here's the gold pants. Take that. Yeah. Not kidding.
Huh?
I said, I'm not kidding. It's like that's what they're trying to do.
All right. So we reached the part of the show. We want to start picking week 2 games, but first we have to talk about last night's game. I'm in my room, I'm chilling, watching football, and it's 4th and 4, maybe 3rd and 4, maybe. I think Miami has the ball. They're driving. Tua scrambles for the first down. After scrambling to get the first down, for some reason, he goes to truck Damar Hamlin. And you kind of can guess what happened. He was concussed. Somebody said he was throwing game signs on the ground. I ain't see all that, but I just couldn't believe it. Like, no disrespect to Buffalo because they definitely dominated that game yesterday. But the biggest story coming out of that game is Tua, his injury, and his future. He really might not play another down. That's like his, 5th concussion since he's been in the league or something crazy like that? Nah.
Yeah, he was making those arm motions similar to what you saw when he got the that really bad sack. I think it was in Cincinnati, which I believe also might have been a Thursday night game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was a night game, Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night. 1 out of 3.
Yeah, and like I said, Buffalo, they played really well on Thursday night. Definitely might run away with that division this year for sure.
Yeah, and you gotta love it because it's like Diggs leaves, Gabe Davis leaves. All of a sudden, they're almost kind of a no-name offense. James Cook was cooking for sure. He had himself a great game. All of a sudden he's, him and his brother, maybe not quite like on the eliteness level, but it was almost like the Williams sisters, where like one was the better player, now the other one's the better player. So just a little bit of that. But good for him. And, Josh Allen didn't have to do much. Like that defense, like you said, they were all over it. Von Miller sighting, looking like his old self. Ironically, too, I'm wondering who on the team, or maybe it's not anybody on the team, it's somebody else. He was wearing a Buffalo Bills hat, and on the bill, there was an autograph. I wonder whose autograph it was. But, back to Tua real quick. I think a lot of what was going on there was just the fact that they were getting whooped and they were a little frustrated and they were driving. And I think he just wanted that first down real bad because, they were that much closer to scoring. And I think he just kind of made a frustrated, foolish kind of choice. I didn't see it necessarily like the whole thing, but when I watch it, it didn't look like he was trying to truck Hamlin. It looked like he was just trying to go low and like, you know, dive as far forward as he could. And I think it was more like not that Hamlin like threw him to the ground, but the motion of him falling through on the tackle and his head hitting the back of his head hitting the ground is what did it. And again, kind of ironic that of all people tackling him was Damar Hamlin. So just to throw that in there. But man, that's rough for Miami. I mean, the whole offense is built around Tua, chucking the ball to Jalen Waddle and Beckham and certainly Tyreek Hill. They went out and got Jonnu Smith, who actually was playing fairly well. A lot of it was game script, but he definitely had a fair amount of catches and, was doing his thing. But now, man, I don't know what they do. I don't know who's out there on the street that they could go pick up. I know that guy, is it Skylar Thompson, I think, or something like that. He played on the team last year, and I think he played in a playoff game. But still, I don't think he's it. We'll see. They're definitely going to have to pivot.
Yeah. Next game on the list, 49ers at Vikings. Huge news coming out of Santa Clara. McCaffrey not only isn't playing this week, but he may be going to IR, which means he'll miss at least 4 weeks. So I'll still take I'll still take San Fran to win that game, but McCaffrey being out is going to hurt regardless of how good the running back is.
I agree. I think it's actually going to be a close game. I think some of it, San Fran got the win. It was somewhat handled. Well, no, yeah, they beat up on the Jets. And you look at that Vikings team, like you said, they lost McCarthy. Granted, he was a rookie, not like he was going to be, some sort of take him to the Super Bowl guy. But I think with guys like Jefferson and Jordan Addison, yeah, I think they might make it a pretty tough game. So that I'm going San Fran as well. Yep. All right, but yeah, so San Fran, yeah, on to the next. You're muted. Still muted.
My computer tripping today too. Like it's just not a good night right
now. I've noticed that, buddy. That's just you and your computer are sick.
We move forward. Rapid fire on some of these games.
For sure.
Seahawks at Patriots.
I'm gonna go Patriots.
Yeah, me too, strangely enough. With the team traveling west, I'm gonna go Patriots too.
I'm going based on what I saw last week. Not that Cincinnati's a world beater, but I don't think a lot of people picked the Patriots to win, and they won. So that's what I'm saying.
Chargers at Panthers. I'm not going to pick the East Coast team on this one. I think John Harbaugh going to have them cooking, and they lead Carolina with the dub.
There's absolutely. I don't need to say anything. Chargers. No need to say anything. No need. Pick a reason. It'll be right.
Saints at Cowboys. I'll take Dallas. I'm not convinced that the Saints are who they think they are after week one, especially since they played the Panthers. That team is very inconsistent, so I can see them letting down after such a dominant victory in week one.
And it's Dallas. At Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, definitely Dallas.
All right. Colts versus Packers at Green Bay. Who you got?
Colts. Jordan Love's hurt. I don't know who's their backup. I couldn't even tell you who's their backup.
Malik Willis.
We'll see. I don't know.
Former Liberty quarterback.
Yeah, he's got wheels. So maybe if in some sort of Donovan McNabb rookie fashion, he just gets out running around, maybe. But I don't see. Yeah, Colts. They're a solid team.
Brown. I think Jaguars got something cooking right now. Cleveland, especially with Deshaun Watson, they're kind of in a mess at the moment, and I think
You muted yourself. Mike's
I
trying to
don't
keep
know.
all the good info to himself. What are you doing, man? Like share.
No, I was just saying that I think
Tease.
Jacksonville gets Cleveland up out of there.
I'm going Cleveland simply because I need Amari Cooper and Miles Garrett on my fantasy team to kill it. So that's where I'm at. Go Cleveland.
Uh,
Wolf Wolf.
Jets, Jets at Titans. Um, I'm gonna go with the Titans. They had a horrible finish to the game last week, and I think with them being home, bouncing back, they know they can compete. They just got to finish. I think Levis bounce back and they get the dub over Aaron Rodgers and them.
No, I'm going same sort of reasoning. Obviously, at the Titans are at home, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, same sort of reasoning, but they're not at home. I'm going Jets. I think the Titans are not going to be able to do defensively what the Niners were doing. I think the Jets will have some more offensive opportunities. Certainly a chance for Rodgers to connect more with Garrett Wilson, as well as he was certainly like the thing with him and Lazard just transferred from Green Bay right over. That was popping on the Monday night game despite getting whooped. So I think that'll expand a little bit. And yeah, I mean, you're right. Tennessee had control of that game, but Green Bay. I mean, geez, Louise, you know what I just said.
I got you, bro. Jets.
Jets.
Probably the game of the week, low key. Buccaneers at Lions. I'm really digging what the Bucks doing, man. I'm not picking them just because they beat us last week. I'm picking them because I feel like they got something special cooking down there in Tampa. And Baker Mayfield is on a mission, it feels like this year. So give me the Bucks to pull off the upset, bro.
Nah,
Oh, this is a
going.
rematch of the divisional playoff game too, by the way.
Yeah, going Lions here. I think just way too much firepower. You got the two solid running backs. I understand the Bucks have some offensive weapons, but the Lions are a young, hungry team. Dan Campbell has them ready to run through a brick wall for him. Going Lions. Jamison Williams is emerging, so then you got him, Laporta, St. Brown, David Montgomery, and Jameer Gibbs with that O line. Yeah, man, it's going to be too much. It'd be a shootout. That'd be fun to watch, but even still, that favors the Lions more.
The battle of the R's. Raiders versus Ravens at Baltimore. I don't see the Raiders going to Baltimore taking out this team the way they played last week versus Kansas City.
Yeah, same. I think it's Ravens are going to whoop up on them. That's where I'm at.
NFC West matchup. Matchup. NFC West matchup.
Like Tyson.
Rams at Cardinals. Um, Rams, man. The Cardinals are weird, bro. Like
Yeah.
you heard Kyler Murray say it's not his job to give Harrison Jr. targets or something like that.
All right. I see. Well, the way I read it is he was answering a question about like going out of his way to get him the ball. That's the way I was reading. Like, well, think about it. I remember. I believe it was Des Bryant. Talking about Dak making sure getting the ball, and Dak said, "Well, I'm just going to throw it to the open guy." Right? Kind of like the right thing to say. And I'm not saying it like Dak wasn't being sincere, but anyway, I'm more thinking that this Kyler Murray statement is along those lines. I'm thinking he was saying, "Hey, look, if he's open, like I'm gonna throw him the ball, but I'm not gonna like force him the ball." That was the way I was looking at it. Like, hey, I get it. High round draft pick, certainly, huge potential. Just, just
I hate to say this. I hate to say this, bro, but I think my man Barrow might be getting exposed, young.
yeah.
Um, I think the Chiefs are going to slaughter them in Kansas City this Sunday.
Yeah, and that kind of was like a little budding rivalry there for just a minute, when Cincinnati spoiled Kansas City's little kind of playoff unbeaten streak. Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl. Real quick, I don't want to get too into this, but I think he's spitting super hot fire here. James Jones, former Packers and Raiders wide receiver. He, you could say race baiting, but I think he was just spitting facts. He was saying nobody's really criticizing Joe Burrow. Granted, it's week one, but Joe Burrow didn't play well last year, got hurt. He's not playing great now. Didn't really play great, when you take away T. Higgins, Jamar Chase is gone. They take away some of his other weapons like Mixon. And that's fine, we get it. He didn't play well. But like when this is Lamar Jackson or someone like that, it's a different story. And I think he's absolutely right. And he went on to say like he thought Joe Burrow was overrated and didn't play well without superstars and was sort of riding like the success of the Super Bowl. I don't know that I'll go that far, but I also don't like there's not really anything that I can say to argue with that either. Because I say I'm not going to go that far because I'm still willing to wait and see another couple of weeks. Maybe he turns it around. Maybe this was, a liar, an outlier week one, because that happens sometimes. A team starts off bad and they get it together. So we'll see. But I do agree. Kansas City will whoop up on them. Sorry.
Last 4 o'clock game, rapid fire. You got the Steelers or Broncos?
Steelers.
All right, Bears or Texans?
Texans.
Yeah, I got the Steelers and Texans too. This game is interesting. Falcons at Eagles. I'm taking Philly. I just feel like opening on the road. Opening at home on Monday night. They just got too much. Smith, Barkley, they are just freaks. They can do whatever they want on the field. So,
and as talented as Atlanta is, they're still pretty young. And even with a 100% healthy Kirk, I still think Philly wins this game. But I don't think Kirk is healthy. I think he's like, Mahomes and Josh Allen can get away with arm throwing, because they're big enough and their arms are strong enough. They got they got cannons to do that. I really genuinely feel like Kirk is not fully planting on that leg and throwing. I think he's arm throwing. I say this, Bijan Robinson is a fantasy player of mine, so I was kind of paying attention to that week one game, and I know he threw the touchdown to Pitts and whatever, but it just seemed like a lot of arm in it, a lot of like not fully putting your legs down, using your legs and your hips and your whole body. Just kind of what I'm thinking, man. I don't know if he's not fully healthy or just gun shy. Don't know. Can't hear you.
Giants at Commanders. I almost said Redskins. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna let you take the brunt of this, but I predict Washington to win 23-16, and it'll be a fun game for us to watch. What say you, bro, before we bounce up out of here?
I'm going to go Washington 35-17.
That's it? You ain't got nothing else to add?
Well, I'm really hoping we shut down Jones. Certainly we can't take nothing for granted, but I don't know that there's not any one guy we need to focus on stopping. I think everybody needs to just take whatever lessons they could have learned from last week, apply it this week, and let's go out there and go 1-1. You know what I mean? Let's get to that record. It changes the landscape drastically. All of a sudden, we're right back in the mix. It's only week one. We're going into week two. It's a home opener, and it's sold out, I'm pretty sure. And as we mentioned, people are getting Bisquick. You come to the stadium because Jaden Daniels' favorite pregame meal is waffles. Misconception, by the way, that people thought they were going to get waffles if they came to the stadium. That is not happening. Please do not bring plates and syrup expecting to get waffles. It's not happening. Tailgaters maybe are doing that. I don't know. But you will get Bisquick. I don't know how many, if it's the first 10,000 or 5,000, however many. But the game's sold out. Hopefully it's majority Commanders fans, and there's not a ton of annoying Giants fans. Go Manders. Go out there. play for each other. Just go out there and kill it. I don't know what else to say, man. Like, go just win. Let's win, baby.
We're going to talk about it next week, and I hope I feel better next week. I should. It's just a 24-hour cold, I hope.
Get better,
But
Mike.
next week, bro, I feel like we're going to be talking about that pancake mix. We will see some pancake mix on Sunday. Like, literally, I think either somebody going to get hit with a box or somebody going to jump somebody.
What I want to see is if somehow, and I mean, I know this is impossible because metal and all, but if somehow somebody gets a waffle iron in there and like actually makes waffles like at the game, you know what I mean? I don't know how that would happen, but I'm just imagining like an amazing scenario where Daniel scores a touchdown and is in the corner of the end zone and just waffles raining down, pile of waffles in front of him. Then he can do like a waffle snow angel.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Hi, y'all. I made it.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
sorry. I rushed the show, but my brother's not feeling good. We're going to holler at y'all mamas next week. You've been listening to Sporting Convos with Eddie and Mike.
R.I.P. James Earl Jones.
And Frankie Beverly from Maze. Before I Let Go. Hood classic. Well, I wouldn't even say hood classic. Just a classic in general. Even with Beyonce adding her remix, Before I Let Go will go down in history as a great song.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Good night and good morning.